4th of the 25th, 2011. I woke up abruptly, sweat dripping from my brow. I could feel the presence again. His presence. I looked around my room. I know I'm being watched. It's not anywhere to be seen. Damn. This is the third night in a row I've been woken like this. The fear is starting to take over my mind. Something out there is stalking me. Someone wants me. But I should go back up and tell this from the beginning. I'm 16 years old and I moved into this house with my family 7 years ago. It's about 30 minutes outside of town, so we're fairly isolated. My parents love living out here. They say it's peaceful and pretty. I hate it. Not as much during the day as it is at night. I've always been scared of the dark. It's my #1 phobia. I hate not being able to see. And out here at night, there's no light other than the moon and the stars. No warm, comforting glow of street lamps, no headlights slowly moving up and down the streets. Just hazy darkness. And especially during a new moon. That's when I first encountered it, that thing. I had a bunch of friends over, and after dark we all decided to play some airsoft capture the flag. It was a new moon, which made it especially dark and creepy. No light pierced the inky blackness, except the flashlights of the barrels of our airsoft pistols, and the occasional zip of a glow-in-the-dark airsoft pellets flying at their targets. We were all having a great time, and I had grabbed some other team's flag and was rushing back to my base when I heard the sound that made my blood run cold. A scream of terror, coming from about 30 feet from my right. A flash of white was rushing away from the sound. I changed direction and rushed towards the noise, aiming my flashlight at the source of the sound. My friend Jacob was sitting in the dirt holding his bleeding leg, obviously in pain. The cut was deep. Another friend, Matt, and I rushed him inside, where we sat him on the edge of the bathtub and began to wash and dress the cut. We asked him what had happened. Some creature just scratched him, he said. We didn't get a good look at it, but I just saw a flash of white. At first I assumed it was just a possum or something. That was before I saw it again. The second time I was alone. It was at the middle of the night. Not a new moon, thankfully, but still eerie. I had insomnia, a rather common problem for me. It was about 2 a.m. and I'd given up all hope of getting any sleep, so I went downstairs to the living room, popped in a DVD. As I lay on the couch, my mind was lost in the world of Inception. One of my dogs started barking. I thought nothing of it. Barking in the middle of the night is basically a routine for them. Then my other dog joined in. No big deal. But I noticed something. This bark was a lot more menacing than usual. It was more of a guttural, growling bark. The bark dogs may make when threatened. I turned on the back porch light and stepped outside. Creeped out. I called for them. Jake! Zoe! Come here! Then I saw what they were barking at. It looked human, just crouching there in the grass. It's about 4 feet tall, bare, pale skin and long, bony limbs. I studied it for about 5 seconds and it stared back at me. I'll never forget its eyes, dark, almost like empty sockets. Its cold gaze washed over me as if it was sizing me up. Then it slowly started to move towards me. I was almost paralyzed by fear, but was able to get back into the house. I locked the door behind me and rushed to my parents' room. They were convinced I had a nightmare, but I know the truth. This was the first time I had fully seen the creature that would soon push me to the brink of insanity. I didn't think that thing again for quite some time, but I started to think that maybe my parents were right, and it was just a dream. I was really sleep-deprived after all, but deep down inside I knew I'd seen something. A few more weeks ago I was on my website with my friend Derek had recommended, and I saw a picture that shocked me. It was my creature, the one that I'd seen. The website claimed this creature was called the Rake, and it stalks and mauls its victims. The moment I saw the article, my blood ran cold. Could I have really seen this creature? But the thought haunted me, refusing to leave my mind. I saw it again for the first time in months last week. I'd woken up in the middle of the night again. Immediately, I felt like something was wrong. The house was too quiet. I felt very unsettled. I got out of bed, walked to the window and raised the blinds. It was very dark outside, but I could make something out. The creature was outside, scratching at something on the ground. Immediately I opened the window and yelled at the thing. It looked up at me and caught my eyes for a moment, then rushed off. crawling on all fours very close to the ground. When I went out to see what was scratching at the next morning, I found something that still chills me to the bone. The mangled, half-eaten corpse of my dog, Zoe. My parents think it was a mountain lion, but I know the truth. That so-called rake, that bastard creature, it killed my dog. The last few nights have been terrifying. I've woken up in a cold sweat each night, knowing that damn thing is watching me. I feel its presence. I know it wants me, but I have no idea what to do. I'm terrified beyond belief, and I'm helpless. My parents keep telling me I'm imagining things, but I'm not, damn it. I know what I've seen, and I know it wants me. That's why I'm writing this down at 3 in the morning. If it happens to me, I want people to know what. I'll update as soon as anything else happens. 5th to 11. The last week was a whirlwind of terror. I'm constantly in fear now. I know it's always watching me. Around every corner I go, every night I feel its presence, some nights more than others. I don't exactly know what it wants from me, but it wants something. I saw it again for the first time in a week today. I stayed at home sick. I feel like shit. It's making me sick. I was laying on the couch watching TV, constantly looking over my shoulders, because I know he's watching me. I have a shotgun by my side. The benefit of living in the country. I got it from the garage. It's loaded, in case the thing which I decided to call the rake tries to attack. I knew it would soon. I heard a noise outside and cocked my gun. I stepped outside to investigate. Nothing. Damn it! I decided to patrol the perimeter of the house, just in case. Walked all the way around. Nothing. I stepped back inside the house, and the smell hit me. It was the stench of death, rotting. I held the gun out in front of me, slowly made my way up the stairs, and turned the corner into my room. It was still crouched in the corner, facing away from me. It slowly tilted its head towards me. Then it spoke. It was a high, shrill voice, but don't know what it said to me. I didn't hesitate to pull the trigger, but it moved at almost superhuman speed and barreled into me, knocking me down. I saw it jump onto the second-floor balcony to the living room floor, charged out the door. My arm was still bleeding, so bad. I grabbed a shirt and pushed it onto my arm to try and stop the blood. I rushed outside, the gun still in my hand. It was gone. "Go to hell!" I screamed. I stepped back inside and saw the blood. It wasn't my blood, its blood. I grabbed the dog it hadn't killed, Jake, put his nose to the blood. He picked up the scent and started moving to the woods near my house. I didn't think twice. I followed. We rushed into the woods. Around a mile away from the house, Jake started to whimper. I sent him back. This was my job. I started to explore the area, my finger twitching on the trigger, terrified. After about half an hour of searching, I saw something weird. A small area of ground that was different. It seemed covered up. I walked over and swept away the grass. I was right. There's a board right under the grass. I pulled up the board, exposing the hole. A rusty old ladder led down. Against all better judgment, the curiosity got the best of me. I slung the shotgun over my back and lowered myself down. I was in a tunnel. It wasn't well lit, a few candles, but it was enough to see the blood-smeared walls. The smell was awful. I could see paintings in the blood, disturbing things, stuff I never wanted to see. I walked towards the source of more light. I could see a sort of room. When I stepped in, I wanted to throw up. There were animal parts all over the floor, on the walls. This must be its feeding room. I turned around, retching, and there it stood, right behind me. It reached towards me, and I blacked out. I woke up in my room about 30 minutes ago. Alone. No cut on my arm, no blood anywhere. Decided to write everything down while it was still fresh in my mind. Parents still aren't home. It's dark outside. I'm terrified to leave my room. Maybe it didn't all happen, but maybe I'm going insane. Paranoia is here to stay. I realise what the rake has said in my room now, when it talked to me. It wants a sacrifice. Mum, Dad, if you read this after I'm gone, then get the hell away. I don't know where to, but just leave this place. 5, 7, 11. It's over now. He's satisfied. Sacrifice is made and I'm alone. He was with me 3 nights. He just stands next to my bed watching me. Sometimes he'll whisper to me. He told me he wanted a sacrifice, bloody sacrifice. He said I had to do it. I knew he was right. It didn't matter to me. I can be alone. My parents thought I was going crazy. Little did they know. So last night, I told him I'd do it. I gave him a sacrifice, a good sacrifice, so he'll be happy. I told them to come with me. I wanted to show them a pretty good spot I'd found. They walked with me, walked to the rake hole. I opened it up and pulled the gun out. I told them to go into it. They asked what I was doing, and I told them he wanted to see them. They went into the hole and we walked through the tunnel. She was crying. Then Mr. Rake came out of his hiding place. He looked at me with his black eyes and smiled, and he killed them. They screamed a little bit, but I didn't care. He was happy now. He pointed to the hole, and I knew it was time to leave. I'm back at home now, all alone, in my dark room. I'm not scared of the dark anymore, though. I like the dark. It reminds me of my friend, the Rake. I'm okay. Damn it, I'm not okay. I just let my parents to their death. I'm crazy. I have the gun to my head now, and I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm looking across my room, and he's crouched there, smiling at me, telling me to do it. And he's still hungry. He wants one more sacrifice, and I'm going to give it to him. Goodbye.